Let's do it again. Let's check out your YouTube videos. The way this works every week is that you send us a whole bunch of channels. We go into those channels and we look at exactly what you could be doing to improve your overall production quality, to get people, once they click on your videos, not to click away. Yesterday, we did our channel reviews. We do that every week where we look at your titles, your thumbnails. We give you all that information about how to get people in there. Today is all about how to get them to stay. So that's what we're doing, and we have a couple of different guests joining us. We have one of our regular co-hosts, of course, Viper. How's it going?
Ooh, I'm inside the box again. Yeah, that's that Viper dude. How you doing, Dan? How you doing, people? Welcome back to our Wednesday video review stream. This should be pretty fun.
Yes. Welcome, everybody. And then, of course, special guest, Ben Johnson. How are you?
What's up? Thanks for having me. I'm excited for the stream today.
We're excited to have you. Ben, if you guys don't know, has a channel that specializes in particular the production quality of your videos. We're talking lighting. We're talking having nice setups. Everything. Ben, I'll let you talk about it because you're probably going to be more elegant than me.
Yeah, so my big focus, especially going into 2023, is helping creators win. I just want to help you guys, level up your quality, your content, your strategy, all of that good stuff. So that's kind of what I focus on. And I usually focus on how you can get awesome quality even on a budget. So I like to review a lot of budget gear and some more expensive stuff as well, and just help you guys push the limits of what you currently could already have. So yeah,
there you go. Ben's link is down below. Please do subscribe to Ben's channel if you haven't already. And yeah, we're going to be really excited to have Ben here because you're going to really be focusing, I think, on just the actual production quality of some of the channels we're going to see today. So
sweet.
Before we get into those channels, just so you guys know how this works, there are two forms linked down below. One of them is a gaming form. One of them is a non-gaming form. If you feel like you're in between, like let's say you develop video games, just choose one form. We'll understand. Just don't fill out both forms, please. Game developers tend to fall into the non-gaming category. Gaming channels are ones we imagine where you're sitting down and playing the game, just to give that really specific distinction. So we get so many gaming channels, we split up into two forms. We're going to be randomly picking throughout those two forms in the second half of the stream. In this first half, though, we have some pre-selected channels. And yeah, that's basically how it works. So it's not too late to fill out those forms. If you filled them out last week or the week before, we clear it every single week. So you have to fill out the form again if you haven't filled it out today or, well, today, because I put out the stream today. That's it. Everyone ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
Go.
Excellent. So let's look at our first channel that's submitted on the non-gaming form first. And they are mover mode. They didn't have any specific questions. We like to ask a question on this. And they just said they appreciate the live streams, which we appreciate you saying that. So thank you very much. So yeah, no really specific things they're looking out for. So I figure what we'll do is we'll watch the latest video for a little bit. And we'll give our thoughts. So it's an animation. It's marbles rolling down a hill. Almost looks like it's timed to the music that's in the background, which is kind of interesting. Multiply and escape the pyramid, marble race in Unity. So they've built all of this using Unity. Must have taken a lot of time. Viper, let's start with you.
Yeah, I can appreciate the work that went into the animation. I think it looked good. Production quality for this particular animation looked good. My only thing is I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's going on. And so because I have no context of what's going on, it kind of makes me feel disjointed from the actual content because I don't know what's going on. So that's really my only critique, is that I just don't know what's going on and I don't know why it's happening.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Ben, did you have any other thoughts?
My first initial thought was, the animation's cool. I did instantly notice the music with the beat drops, like everything kind of timing out to it, which was a cool touch. One thing that I think could even enhance the overall experience of this animation would be some sound effects. I think adding some of that in there would really make it feel more alive and like organic. But yeah, I would say overall, I'm in the same boat. I don't really, we don't have the context. It's just, we're walking into this, it's happening. And I think without that context as to why, or to, what to expect or why we should stay, it is lacking overall it's not as strong as it could be.
Yeah. I think they have a very technical skill set, which is great on YouTube. When you have that, you create a very high barrier to entry. It's hard to replicate what you're doing on YouTube, which is great. But I agree with both of your points, especially like adding some sound effects. I felt like I was missing that because when I watch marble races, the non-animated kind, like the real life ones, it's very satisfying to hear the marbles rolling down the course. So this is a genre of video on YouTube. If you just type in marble race, there's my favorite channel, of course, is Jelly's Marble Runs. And what this channel does really well is it makes you care about the story of the marbles themselves. Like when they get into it, they really treat it like it's an actual live racing event. And all the marbles have different names, like their teams have names, and it gets the audience excited about what the heck is going on.
And I'm delighted to deliver it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Marble Rally. After an unusually dry summer.
So really professional commentary. This is kind of what you're competing with here.
Do they give the marbles a backstory?
In some cases, it's slipped in there. I used to watch a lot of this channel. It's really slipped in there because they'll talk about what the marbles were doing during training or something, but it's always color commentary. It's not like like a really well built story. But you can
just whenever you watch those types of shows, like where they do like those emotional backstories of the contestants, it's kind of like a funny thought for a marble.
You can see this channel, like people in the comments are really excited about it. Almost looked like Crazy Cat's Eyes was trying to take a shortcut, which it clearly was a shortcut out of the race. So like people get like into this, I think you could totally do something similar with what you have here. I think you have a good base, and I think you can build on this. Maybe it's similar to Jelly's Marble Runs, where you give the marbles backstories and things like that, or maybe you go in a totally different direction. I don't really know. There's a lot of ideas out there, but I wouldn't say you're in the animation category. I would say you're in the marble racing category. That's the thing you're animating. And you already have all the models built and everything. There's other things you're doing too with dominoes and stuff like that, but you've done a number of these marble ones, and some of them have thousands of views. So I would love to see, like, it's very satisfying content to watch, but you are less limited than Jelly's Marble Runs because you can create whatever environment you want. It might take you a while, but you can do it. So can you create a really crazy physics-based racing track and then build on that, build a story around it? You could find yourself in a very unique position on YouTube to where you have content that people search for because it's marble racing and people have seen it before, and it's unique to the point where no one else can jump on this trend. You own this space. I think there's a big opportunity here.
Yeah, and I would even say, like, with the we were talking about sound effects, like, because this is still animated, it looks very much like a game, like a video game. And so even having some like video game style sound effects in there, as the marbles are getting points and you hear like a crowd cheering or stuff like that, I think that could really add a lot of energy to it, especially with some commentary. So
yeah. So thank you for sharing your channel, and best of luck to you. You already some really standout successes here, so keep it up. Yeah. All right. We'll look at the first gaming channel now that's submitted on our gaming form. And this is Andriq, maybe, hopefully. They got 18 subscribers, but they have videos with hundreds of views already. We'll take a look at the latest one, and provided there's no bad language or anything like that, we will watch for a little bit.
Hello guys, today I'm playing Overwatch, so let's go.
Hey, what happened?
At the image. Let's go.
Oh my god.
So about 20 seconds in, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a little disoriented. Viper, you also look perplexed, confounded.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've talked about this. I've talked about this before on these live streams, but sometimes some of y'all do too much in the edit, and I feel like this creator doing a little bit too much. Like it's like you said, Dan, you feel disoriented. I felt the same way. It's all over the place. And my thing is, when does the video start? Like I don't know. Like we going from cut to cut to cut to cut, but I don't feel like there's an actual beginning to this video. Like when does it start? Maybe if we watch a little bit more, it will start somewhere, but I just don't understand. Like, I mean, what are you trying to accomplish in this first 30 seconds? I don't know.
Yeah, I think like the very, very beginning where you said, we're about to play, You could have like, obviously we know as a viewer, just like without that context, that you're playing the game. So it's not really the best use of that couple of seconds. Like maybe set it up for a specific thing. I think even with gaming videos, like if you can set it up to be like tackling a specific task in that video rather than just like, we're going to do whatever happens and it's a full on montage of it all, that would give us a little bit of context. And then I agree with the editing. One thing that I think is really interesting with edits in this type of way, when you're adding in so much stuff and there's so much movement and so much things, you have to understand like the game itself already has that. So like you're adding this unnecessary in the attempt to make it high energy, which is a great attempt and a good thing to try to do. Realize the game itself, especially as fast as you're cutting it, already has a lot of that movement. It has a lot of that stuff going on, and it is a little bit of a sensory overload, especially to those who are not in it all the time. So it's cool to add some stuff here and there, but when you do too much on something that's already at it doing so much, it's just a lot.
Also, one more thing, Dan. I'm glad that this person's video isn't monetized, because if it was monetized, and it might not matter, Nintendo is going to want to have a word with you. I'm just saying.
It was an interesting music choice. The Zelda music at the beginning was strange and it was loud. I noticed that when they did use sound effects, it was hard to hear them over the sound effects. So you're kind of blowing out people's eardrums. It's kind of a rip headphone users moment. At least for me on this side of it, it was very, very loud. And then I had to kind of struggle to hear you. I was kind of glad that you put some text on the screen backing up what you were saying, because I don't think I would have caught it otherwise. That's not to say that was like a good choice. I think a better choice would have been to lower the sound effects so we could hear you and have the text on the screen. I think that's like high energy text popping up is great, but we jumped to scene to scene to scene to scene before we could even understand and get context for where we were in the world. We're already somewhere else. So
yeah.
like I love how you put it, Ben. It was like in the attempt of creating like high energy content, you kind of went all over the place.
Yeah. And like, but all of that being said, like, it's still cool that you tried. It's still cool that you were doing it and like experimenting with it and learning how to edit. And like, that's super strong and good for you to do. But as you do it more often and as you get feedback like this, start to learn, it's almost more powerful. Like less is more. Sometimes it's kind of a little counterintuitive, but this is a cool way to experiment with your editing skills and, level up in that area. And with the sound effects, we talked about that on the last one as well. The biggest thing for me, my opinion on sound effects is like, you don't really want to be consciously aware of hearing it. You want to feel it. So make sure you're dipping those levels quite a bit, because just having a little bit in there makes the viewer kind of feel like it's there, that it's happening. But when it's in your face, all of a sudden it's just distracting and taking away from what's important.
Yeah. So there you go. A lot of tips there. I would think for any gaming channel, especially if you're making like this kind of first-person shooter style content, where in the moment it's kind of hard to give commentary because you're just kind of focused on the game. This is the alternative, right? You do high impact, fun edits. You try and bring a lot of humor to it. This is a great attempt. And I think overall they're working really hard on their thumbnails as well. So I think this channel can only go up from here. These are really great views for how new the channel is with regard to subscribers. Less than a year trying stuff. So keep at it. We're just hoping that some of our tips here can help you level up even faster. That's what it's all about.
So somebody in the chat said that they can't ever find a link to get to submit their channel for review. It's always in the description of these live streams. So if you go down to the description, there are two forums down there. There's one for gaming channels and there's one for non-gaming channels. Click the one that is appropriate to your channel, and then that is how you submit to possibly get reviewed by us on these streams.
Yeah. So it's right. If you show more in the description.
Yep.
These are your two forum links right here. So be sure to check that out. All right, we'll go to the next channel. Now I've disoriented myself here. It is going to be, well, let's see, we did that one. It's going to be this one. It is Stevon. I hope I'm saying your name right. Your thoughts on my midway call to action, usually after the second or third point, and end screen handoff to the next video. So they're asking us very specifically about the call to action they do in the middle of the video and then their end screens. I think we can also, we can't help ourselves. We'll probably give some general tips as well. But yeah, we'll look specifically for those moments too.
Next Level Mindset bringing you another powerful and positive video. I'm going to share with you 3 things you should never do with chat.
Can we turn off the captions?
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
Insights that I've gained on my journey. And if you stay with me through to the end of the video, I'm going to share some bonus points, pro tips, and how you could succeed in your online business. You do not want to miss this. Let's get into it. So if you're watching this right now, you probably heard of that new software, ChatGPT, right? It's taking over the storm, hitting the internet all over the place.
30 seconds. I love the energy in this video. Ben, we'll start with you this time.
Yeah, I love the energy. I think that's super, super good. I think your personality in front of camera, you know, you're looking into the camera, you've got some good, you know, lighting. I can see your face. It's like the energy is strong. The first thing I noticed was in the very beginning, like that opening shot, it almost made me think of when people use too much text on a thumbnail. You know, it's a little bit too much going on. And I think it's really distracting from you. It's distracting from your personality and just your energy. This is actually, again, I think it's with the intention of like adding a lot of like, there's going to be a lot of stuff in this, but what I would do instead personally is I would start off the first second or two with you and then maybe throw in a couple of slides, you know, or things like treat it like B-roll to cover those headlines rather than having it there the whole time and minimizing the impact of your personality by shrinking you down. So that's my first thought in this. Yeah, let's go to you guys. What are your thoughts?
All right, I need a moment to take a deep breath here. I agree with you all. I love the passion. I love the energy. But what was that? What is that? What is this? Why? You got like the title repeated in the whatever this dialogue box is like 2 or 3 times. Like, dude, it's in the title. We got it. We literally see it in the title. You don't need to repeat it in this opening like dialogue screen. They're like, and the other thing is like, you got all this text in this opening intro screen and you're reducing yourself down to like a little box. And I keep telling you guys about viewer experience, right? So imagine if I'm trying to watch this on my cell phone and this is what I see at the first like 5 seconds of the video. As a viewer, I'm probably gone because you're not thinking about the viewer experience when you're doing things like this. So I would just avoid doing this entirely and just have yourself full screen and like Ben said, maybe consider some B-roll, which will highlight what you're going to talk about instead of doing something like this. Because I don't know what's going on there.
You know, it makes me think of it almost looks a little bit like a news broadcast kind of feel. I think that's maybe
what they're
like
going for.
Yeah, I think that's what you're going for. But I do think that we just kind of the repetition is not helping in this sense. Especially like you already have it in the actual shot behind you too. So it's just like a lot of text going on. So yeah, just, you know, it's a simple change and it's actually going to be easier for you to not have to deal with resizing and adding all of this stuff every time you do your videos. Like, just forget all that, keep it simple. And, you know, I think that will be a good strategy for you.
One thing you could look at, and I do this because I'm not a graphic designer, right? So I go on places like Envato Elements and I download. So in your case, I would look for like news broadcast and I would try and find some pre-made graphics. Now, the thing is, you need to have a little bit of experience with Premiere or After Effects to easily edit these graphics, but that's kind of a low bar. Like if you just go out and watch some tutorials, before you know it, you'll be able to edit these graphics using your editing software. And then you can get some really professional news quality graphics on your video if that's the look you're going for. I can tell like the way these were made. I would, if you were to continue doing this, I would say you need to level up your Photoshop skills or whatever you're using to create these because the margins are all off. Like if you see my mouse cursor, there's like a tiny gap here and there's a larger gap here with these 2 boxes. They're not the same size. The text is almost falling off of this one. There's the number 3 down here, which I guess relates to the title, 3 things you should ever do. This logo isn't centered. So there's like a lot of things that are, not only is the text kind of distracting in itself, but it's also the way it's on the screen that's kind of jarring. And, you know, this is all about like taking that time to skill up a little bit if you're trying to go for this look. But I like to take a shortcut. I like to just use a site like Envato Elements. The licensing there is really cheap and it's a whole library of things, not only just graphics, but music and stuff as well. All kinds of things. So sites like that can be really, really powerful to level up your broadcasts, you know, very quickly.
And I would say I agree with you. You know, the use of like templates or plugins or things that, you know, it may cost you a little bit upfront, but it will save you time. And that is like such a huge thing. So
Yeah.
as you get more into it, you know, just as you have a little bit to invest in it, maybe instead of, you know, buying this, that, or the other, invest in software, invest in some plugins that can help make your editing time shrink substantially, because it does make a big impact. It will allow you to create more and do it faster and easier and look better too.
Yeah. Now I want to see if we can find their call to action. They did mention that halfway-ish through the video, there's like a subscribe call to action. I'm seeing some B-roll. I'm hoping it's obvious, but I'm not. Maybe it's further back. Hold on. What did they say on the form here? Second, usually after the second or third point. One thing that would help me out right now, and this is for your viewers as well, is if you had chapters, like you broke this up into 3 points, have a few chapters. Have the introduction chapter where you talk about what you're going to talk about today, then go, you know, points 1, 2, and 3, so people can more easily find, especially for these longer types of videos, chapters are great. You said between the second and third point, so I'll go about here and see if we can see it.
That's where it's at. And before we go to this next one, I just want to say thank you for being a subscriber, being someone always coming back to the channel, the Cash App donations, the merchandise, hitting the like button, leaving comments. All of that really means a lot. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And if this is your first time, you want to stay empowered, great music, entertainment, inspiration, motivation, hit the subscribe button and join the family. Would love to have you here at Next Level. And the third thing that you...
So the strategy there was to give them a little bit of value and then do a subscribe call to action after saying, like, we're going to get back into this, but first, before, you know, we do that stuff all the time. I don't know if you guys agree. I felt like it was still a little long.
Too long. Way too long.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked the positioning of it in the video, but I feel like you were thanking them for way too many things. A really quick in and out, like, hey, you should subscribe, by the way, for more, would have been enough. And then I would take all the thank yous you did and save it till the very end of the video. I've noticed a lot of really big creators do that. If they do it at all, they wait till the very, very end after everything is done. So it's just for the people who really stick around to the end.
And again, to go back to what I tell you guys about the viewer experience, think about if you were watching the video, right? How would you feel if the creator stopped midway through the video to thank everybody and their mama, their cousins, their uncles, their baby mamas, and their daddies? And then it took like a minute. Then you went back to the video eventually. Like, would that make you feel good as a viewer? No, because it literally takes you out of the video when they like stop it like that and then do all of that for like too long of a period of time. And then they get back to the video. As the viewer, you just want to get back to the content that you came for. I mean, yeah, if you want to stop mid-roll and do a call to action, yeah, but make it quick, like what? Maybe 1, 2 seconds, boom, then get back to the action. Like, again, think about the viewer when you all making content.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way I view stuff like that is I almost try to treat that, if you're going to do a call to action like that in the middle, it almost needs to be about the like the length of like just taking a breath, you know, or it's just kind of like, you know, like it's real short, like 2-3 seconds, and then you're back into it, where it's just this quick pause. Let's go to point 3. You know, that's about the amount of time where it's like, you know, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're getting a lot of value, subscribe, and then boom, you know, like you're just in it. And that's if you even do it. I don't personally like doing those midway things. I think that it just distracts from like the value. And I think like ultimately that's more important of a thank you than saying thank you, is just to like show up and add the value. So
yeah. I would also say, no, never mind. You guys covered that. I wanted to go to the end screen. Never mind. I think I got distracted there.
Thanks again for watching.
So the other comment they had was how do we like their end screen call to actions? So this is the last, we talk about this all the time. In the last moments of your video, instead of saying goodbye, make it seem like the video isn't over yet, because there's even more valuable information in this video right here. We do it here vidIQ all the time, and it's great because it keeps all the watch session going. It's better than asking for subs, because if you can get people to watch 2 videos in one session, YouTube is definitely going to recommend your next upload to them. Definitely, whether they subscribe or not. So let's see how you're doing that.
I want you to check out this video right here. I talk about everything you need to know to succeed with an online enterprise, any type of business online. I think that would be a great video for you to watch next. So click or tap the screen and check that out. We'll talk again over there. Grab a copy of my books or the product with the links in the description. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, stay blessed, stay positive.
So I love that you have products, like you're really building this thing out into a business, which is awesome to see. You guys noticed that the video didn't pop up for a while because the end screen can only be a maximum of 20 seconds long. And since your outro is so long, you couldn't possibly get it to stretch to when your finger was pointing to watch this video next. So we still have almost 10 seconds left of this video, but you've already released us. You've already said to go do something else. And then another video popped up as well, which is kind of confusing. Stick to one video and keep these outros quick. Like, give them almost no time to decide to click. Like, this is the next video you want to watch because of this. Like, and it's always relevant to the thing you just covered. I don't know if you guys have anything to add, but that's where I'm at.
I have something I want to add. Like, I definitely think just doing one video at the end is going to be stronger for you. And then personally, if you're going to push a product like the book, I personally would not do it right there. What I would do is maybe try to add that into one of the points briefly as a supporting element to that point. Like, you know, it's point number 3, you're talking about it and you're like, also you can get a ton of value out of my book, and then keep going on, because then you're mentioning it, it's in the video, it's actually a stronger positioning for promoting the product. And then at the end, you're not muddying the waters with the product and the end screen, because at the end of this video, do you want people to go buy your book or do you want them to go watch? You need to choose one and just focus in on that. And maybe just let the book kind of sell itself, you know, just by being, you know, a point in a a position in a point or something like that.
Yeah. So there we go. I think this channel is still, despite all the things we've called out here, doing a lot right. I think they have the energy. I think they have the passion. I think they have the focus. All that's great. My last tip would just be on the thumbnail, just to go to channel review mode for a second. I don't know who this person is. I recognize this is you, but on the left here, maybe if I watch the video, I'll know who that is. But remember that the people who see your thumbnail don't watch the video yet. They haven't clicked in. So anything you put as a reference to something in the middle of the video, no one's going to get the reference. So unless this person is referenced in the title and they're a very famous person, I wouldn't put them in the thumbnail. In fact, what I would do is your text is ChatGPT. I would put the very, very popular ChatGPT logo. And then if you're going to use any text at all, it should be something very simple, like a couple words referencing the fact that you could use this thing wrong, or there's just something about it that people need to know. And I can't think off the top of my head what those couple words might be, but don't do this or something like that, you know? But yeah, using a recognizable symbol like the ChatGPT logo, I think would be very powerful. Just remember, no one knows who this is, and you have an upside down stop sign here, which is also very confusing. I don't know what that's doing there.
Yeah. I know that guy does a lot about, I think he does a lot of finance type things, but I don't, it didn't seem like it was very clear as to why he was there. But hey, I do like that in the thumbnail you zoomed in on yourself and we're doing a little gesture. I think that's cool. Like, that's strong. So again, these are just tweaks that you can start to apply and experiment with. I think it will be effective for you. Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll look at the next channel then, pre-selected channel. And that is going to be Liquor Camp. And I love this one. They said, rip it apart. Looking for suggestions. Have been struggling with lighting and camera settings. Any music is from Artlist. All right. Rip their channel apart, they said. So why don't we take a look at the latest video and rip it to bits?
I might have bitten off more than I could chew today because, you know, Bird Dog does flavored whiskey and I've got all of them. So join me because we're going to be doing some drinking. All right, y'all. So the plan of attack for today, because I'm feeling slightly intimidated by the number of bottles in front of me, and you can't go into battle without a plan. So here's the plan. What is this?
A battle plan.
I'm going to go through each and every one of these flavors, and I'm also going to mark them so that if you're looking for a specific one, you can go straight to it. Although I will say some of these really did surprise me, and some of them weren't as great as I thought.
So that's 30 seconds. They're going to make this difficult for us.
Bro,
go ahead.
Dan. You know, as a person who is not familiar with this channel, Dan and Ben, I'm just trying to figure out how the video is going to end. Is it going to end with her on the floor? Because you see all the liquor bottles. I mean, she got like what 15 bottles there. Like, how much is she gonna drink? Yo, that's what I want to know. But going back to the actual intro, I love the energy. I love the passion. She laid out what the video was going to be about, what the plan of attack was, like right then and there. And so I didn't have to wonder. I'm not confused. I know what to expect. I like this intro. I'm just wondering how it's going to end though.
Ben, I'm looking at you for lighting tips right now because they did comment. I think they mentioned their lighting in their question to us. I think the lighting isn't bad, but I
No,
do
it's not
feel
bad.
like, do you, this is, I don't have the best eye for this, but do you feel like there's a little bit of overexposure going on maybe in
Yeah.
the face?
Yeah, I think there is. So can you roll the timeline back to wherever it was at its widest?
Like right here?
Yeah. So just, there's there's so much going on in this shot, but
Bump
I think like
quality.
overall I would say that the lighting's good. Like it's not bad by any means. Like you have lighting for one, so that's good. We can see your face and there's a little bit of catch light in your eyes, like all that stuff is good. But yeah, I would say if anything, keep working on the balancing of the exposure and the lights, because I do think it is a smidge overexposed, and it will actually be a little bit more flattering to you if you actually turn it down a little bit. You're not going to see as much of that gleam kind of coming on the skin tones and all that. And this is something that I actually tell a lot of people. It seems counterintuitive, but like most of the time for the key light, the goal is to get it as close as you can, and then you don't have to run it at full blast. You can turn it down quite a bit and balance it to the rest of the shot. So if you are running, it looks like maybe you're using 2 lights on yourself or something. If you're doing that, just experiment with getting it as close as you can and dimming it down a little bit, because the closer the light is, the larger it will be in relation to you, and it will create softer shadows and you won't have to work as hard. But overall, it's good. Personally, it is a very, I guess you would call it a very flat look. Everything is very even, and that is
Yeah.
a look. You can definitely do that, but you don't have to do that either. You could run one of your key lights, or whatever one is your key light, a little bit stronger, and let there be some shadow. It can actually look a little bit more flattering than just having the light just blast you in the face. So experiment with that. Even just being the type of content that this is, having a little bit of that, a little bit of a darker kind of mystery vibe to it could actually be kind of cool. So those are just some of my thoughts. As far as the frame itself, just the overall shot, we're getting critical, but you could actually change the way it's framed a little bit. It's very, very wide, which is good. You're trying to show all of the bottles. One thing you could do instead is get it a little closer and then actually layer up the stack of the bottles a little bit so that's not so spread and you have to be so far away. And then just, if you're going to be centered, don't be off centered, because it's just those little changes can make a nice impact for the overall shot. So those are a few of my initial thoughts on it.
So I did let it play for a minute. We kind of got a little bit farther here, and the bottles are gone now. I would have liked to see a couple things myself. I would have liked to see a second camera angle. I think this is something just for leveling up later, but if we had, so you still looking at your primary camera, if we had a secondary camera that was off to the side watching you with the hand gestures and everything, I think that would have just added something. It would have given us a more perspective on the space that you're in, and it just would have given you some more B-roll to cut with. Like, you are using B-roll, but I think in this first sequence, you only use this one movie clip, so not really as B-roll, just kind of like a interruption.
It's more of a cutaway, yeah.
Yeah, cutaway. I would have loved to see some camera work on the bottles, like maybe you scroll across the bottles real tight, so you could do different things as you're talking, so it's not just talking head the entire intro. I would say the intro, that's the most important time to be adding a lot of different elements. We see it though as the video plays, like there is more stuff going on, but there are opportunities here. I think you have a really cool space and you can use it better.
Yeah, and I would say, like, and to go with what you were saying, Dan, you can even do a lot of those techniques with just one camera. Just when you're done with the video, get a few shots that are close up of some of the different bottles, or go as everything's set up, you get a couple shots, and then you have that material to cut into your edit without filming the whole thing on 2 cameras. So you can just, it only takes a little bit of planning ahead of time, a little bit of, insight into that, and you can make that happen without having to go buy an additional camera and all of that good stuff. So
yeah. Good call. So I think those are our thoughts there. A lot of chapters here, which I like to see. So each one's for each different bottle that you're testing, which is pretty cool. As I continue scrolling, it looks like the only time you ever cut to B-roll is maybe at the beginning of the clip. You kind of give us like a close up of like the actual next bottle that you're tasting. I think this is where, again, like a second camera angle or something really comes in clutch, because it's just that extra bit of energy to your content, making it a little more dynamic. Let me just see. Let's check out the outro here and see kind of how you end your videos. There's some this chapter's called bonus flavors. Yeah, we saw it there. See, this is what I was talking about for the intro.
Exactly. Yeah.
I did up the quality for us just to like really, because I can tell they're using a very nice camera. I wanted to see that, but it's going to slow us down here. Let's see if I have to knock it down. Here we go.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's a great shot. Really smooth. And we have a playlist here, which is fine. We still like the, hey, watch this video here next if you're interested in blah, blah, blah. So anything you've already made that your audience would be interested in, not your audience, but the same audience as this video, right? So if you like this whiskey, or if you're interested in other whiskeys, we tried this one over here, and you point to that video on the screen. But this is cool. Like, I still think that no one saw this. I think by the time you get to the end of it, and people kind of get the videos over, so they've probably already moved on. So what a great shot to use as B-roll in the intro.
Yeah, if you want to get super technical, can you play that shot one more time? That ending B-roll shot.
Yeah.
I just have a quick comment. So, all right, go. You can go ahead and pause it. Well, see how it's moving towards the out of focus shots, like it's moving towards the bottles that are out of focus. If
this is out of focus.
In your editor, if you just reverse that shot and have it always bringing what's in focus into frame, it would be a lot more natural and pleasing. So that's just a quick, it's super minor detail, but you said to bash. So I think that would just be a nice touch personally.
Yeah. It's hard to rip apart such a high quality
it's so
video.
Good. Yeah. It's very good.
Yes.
And so the adding some of that stuff in the beginning would be great. Yeah, it's good. Like, it's solid. At this point, I wouldn't be too worried about, the lighting and the stuff. Personally, I think you've got a lot of it going pretty strong. So I would just focus on the content itself, like the storyline, like all of that. I think that's where the priority should be at this point, because it's looking good.
Do you think depth of field would be a good call out? Because like one thing I'm noticing is
it's hard
up here. I don't know if this wine glass rack is right above your head or behind you or in the foreground, like, because it's such a flat shot, you mentioned before.
Yeah, it's hard because at the same time, it's like this is what I would say for most people. I would be like, this is way too cluttered. I would completely do it different, but because of the sheer amount of excess of the product of what it is that you're talking about, it like almost works because it's like so much there. So it is a tough call, but like personally, like over time, you may want to experiment with like, could you just go into more of a plain room, have a table set up, have some good lighting, and have some stuff kind of stylized in the background. But as of right now, like it's an attention grabber to have all of that stuff. And I think you would lose it a bit with the depth of field, but I'm always pro depth of like lots of depth. So it's something to experiment with.
One thing, like you mentioned, going to a different scene, I think you could maybe leverage both. So like you use this is your main, this is the bar, right? So you have two different scenes for your videos. This is the bar, but then you have a tasting room. So you go to a different section of your studio, your house, whatever it might be, and you've set up a corner where it's a lot calmer and you have like only one bottle at a time in the shot and you've decorated it differently. And I think like the really awesome YouTubers I see do this, they do really big set changes, and that would represent to me a really big set change. You went from this very cluttered bar that looks awesome to a more quiet area now. And you're going to change the tone of the video.
To me, what that does is it lets us hone in on that specific product more, just visually, because there would be a lot cleaner of a space where it's not as much going on. And it's just like, all right, we're focusing on this thing now, not all of the things. But I love that idea to use both. I think that's really strong. Like, get that attention grabbing, all this stuff, switch to the tasting room. That's a cool concept. And I think it's super doable if you just find another space. It can be even a smaller room or just a backdrop that you could use for it. And it might make a nice change.
I would say the last thing before we move on is, and this is just for the future, if you start getting sponsorships and things like that, there might be some brands that want to sponsor you, but they're going to have some stipulations. They're not going to want to see their competitors in the background. So something else to consider when we're talking about using different shots, different scenery, you know, just so if you're thinking about taking this to that extreme, that might be just one more reason to set up an additional set for yourself.
That's true.
So really excellent channel. I think you're doing a wonderful job, and yeah, this is really strong. So thank you for sharing it with us. And we'll move on to, we have, I believe, one super chat right now. So let's take a very quick break to check this out. If you guys send us questions via super chat, that's awesome. We don't review videos based on super chats, but we're happy to take a break and answer a couple questions if we have time. And this one was from Austin Tech, who just says, shout out to @Viper.
What's up, man? Appreciate the super chat. Thank you.
So there you go. Thank you for your supers. Supporting all the free content we make here at vidIQ. Appreciate you. We'll move on to the next channel now. And they said, we asked if they had any questions or anything. Better click-through rate / thumbnail and title ideas. So kind of general advice, I'd say, for Caves Plays. And we have the channel right here. I saw this one. I thought, you know, thumbnail-wise and some of the things they're doing, like it caught my attention right away. And so I thought we'd check out their latest video, exploding in the kitchen, or exploding the kitchen, and seeing what the heck is going to happen.
It is just leaking apple juice now. Send it. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring. More on that later. Have you ever thought about carbonating stuff that shouldn't be? Well, today I'm doing that. I have here a carbonating device and 8 different things that probably shouldn't be carbonated. I bet the audio sounds good. It's an empty room. So we're going to jump right into it.
Speaking of empty room, did you just like find an open house and wait for everyone to leave and then just start filming? How, like, I've never seen a kitchen with nothing. Like, with such in contrast to what we just saw. This is the exact opposite kitchen in every single way. I love the energy of this video right off the bat. I look at the subscriber number, I look at the views, and you heard what they said. This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. Yep. So they're already at a point where they're getting sponsorships. This is probably the earliest I've ever seen a channel getting sponsorships, like firsthand. What do you guys think?
Which tells me that this is probably not the creator's only social media outlet. They're probably maybe bigger on another platform, and that's why they got a sponsorship this early. But yeah, I appreciate the intro. I like the energy, but I want to do a quick aside about the sponsorship. So when you are doing sponsored content, this is the correct way to do it. It's the correct way just by doing good by the viewer, and it's also the correct way to do it legally, because there's a legal aspect to doing sponsorship. If I'm not mistaken, in the first 30 seconds of a video, at least here in the US, you are obligated to let us know if it's sponsored or not. I recently watched a video where there was no mention of sponsorship at all until the middle of the video, until the creator out of nowhere cut to a different portion of the video where they had changed clothes and they started talking about this product that were something that was completely different from the video. And then at the end of the ad read, they're like, yeah, thank you for such and such for sponsoring the video. And it really just took me out of the video, because as a viewer, I wasn't ready for them to do their ad read, because they never let me know at the beginning that it was sponsored. If I'm prepared for it, then okay, I get you. But if I'm enjoying your content and it's good, and then midway through the video, you just throw in a sponsor ad read without warning, that really disjoints me as a viewer. So I'm glad that this creator, in my opinion, did it the right way. And I know that's subjective and how you all feel about how creators do that stuff, but I feel like this is the proper way to do a sponsored video.
I want to watch just a little bit more, but Ben, I think we should turn to you for sure, because I'm already feeling like this creator has the energy. Now it's the polish that I'm missing on the actual production quality, but we'll get to that in just a second.
Cool. So we're going to start off here with something pretty simple. We got some apple juice here, and these are just going to get worse and worse as time goes on. All right, so we got the apple juice filled up to the fill line. We're going to pump this 5 times. Or less. Can't start off with a mistake, but we're going to.
I think the timing is pretty good. I'm liking this. What are you seeing, Ben?
I like the music going on right now where, I think that it's kind of has that little bit of a playful feel, and it's like, oh, we're not sure what's going to happen. It's kind of matching the energy. So I think that's a really underrated skill to have, is like picking music to match the mood of what it is that you're trying to convey at
Takes
certain
forever.
points in your video. Yeah, it can take a long time. But I do think that it's, it seems like it's doing it well. I like I actually like the overall kind of, the lighting in the shot is actually pretty good. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty solid, honestly. Like there's definitely stuff you can do. You can always do stuff to it, but I do think like as it is that you're in the edit, you're punching into your face. I would also punch into the activity you're doing occasionally as well. I think that might be a nice touch to kind of give us a closer look at what it is that you're doing. But yeah, it's pretty solid overall.
Yeah, no, it is. I think, and I only call it out because I think from here it's just those little things they can do to level up. Honestly,
Yeah, for
it,
sure. Yeah.
it does seem like they're using one light, like right here. You have the kind of the shadowy part of the kitchen. So now they're kind of like walking out of their light. So it's just like little tiny things that could be done to just keep the lighting consistent. That's all I was kind of pointing out. I think it's overall really, really solid. I was also wondering, this might just be me. Do you feel like the shot's just a little too wide? Like everything happening is right in the center sliver of the screen, and yet we can see the pantry. We can see over here where there's nothing going on. Do you feel like there's a lot of negative space, or do you think that works in this case?
I guess like the only reason I feel like it could work is we're anticipating that the kitchen is going to be destroyed. And so like it's kind of like a blank canvas. So if it does end up getting destroyed fully, like where stuff's splattering everywhere or something, then yes, I think it works. Otherwise, I would just bring the camera a little closer, zoom in the lens a little bit, whatever you have rocking, just so we're a little bit closer overall. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah. So they said the shot was wider. I actually punched in. It was a weird film day. To be fair, we are only looking at just one video. So yeah, this is. I have to give it to this creator. This is like really, really strong, especially with like just looking at your overall channel size. You have been at this for looks like a couple years, and already like big improvements in the thumbnails. I think my favorite one's probably this Gordon Ramsay one. But yeah, this is like an awesome channel. I can see this creator going really far. They just have that personality, in my opinion.
So, Dan, to answer your question, the house is empty because apparently it is a family vacation house.
I saw that. Yeah. Family vacation house. So that's nice. That's nice that you have like that extra space too. I think as creators, that's one of the things that we struggle with is like, where am I going to do my video? And having those resources, use them. Just use any resource you have when you're a creator.
Yeah.
So cool. This is awesome. Caves Playz. Best of luck. I think for a channel like this, if I were to just put on my channel review hat for a second, try and see other types of like trending topics that you can jump on. Like Gordon Ramsay makes me an omelet gone wrong. Like, are there any kind of experiments that people are doing that you can like trends you can jump on? I think for channels like this, that's the thing that gets them to grow, is like jumping on different trends. If you see people that are all jumping on this kind of specific experiment or something, make your version of that. Don't be afraid to jump in on those types of trends. All right, we'll check out the next channel here, pre-selected channel. It is Do It To It. They said, I have a new channel and I would like to know how to get more views with a low subscriber count. So they do have 22 subscribers. They're getting more views than subscribers right now. So it's just about making more videos, catering to a specific audience. We give those tips all the time. I want to check out one of your videos and see what we can do, because one thing is if you can get people to click on your videos, we want to make sure they stay there. That helps them spread farther. So let's look at the latest one, the best nacho cheese chip.
So we're Do It To It, and this is the very first video we ever filmed, and honestly, we weren't sure we were going to keep making a YouTube channel after this. We just thought we were filming something.
So I think this is like a throwback video, so I don't think it's fair to judge them on this one. Maybe we should watch the second to latest one.
Fellas, here's your warning. Valentine's Day's in less than a month, but don't worry, we got you covered.
Valentine's Day, candy, Walmart edition.
We are going to rank all of these from first to worst, and we will let you know which ones you can spend your money on for your beautiful Valentine, and we will tell you which one to stay away from. All right, there's 12 of these, and we're going to get into it.
So we are going to start with...
There's our 30 seconds. Viper, what do you think?
I only have one critique. It's just one. We need to do something about. Well, I won't say we need to, but it would be nice if they got better microphones. Maybe think about a lapel microphone so you can cut down on that reverb in the room because there's a lot of reverb in that room. So just think about improving your audio situation, and the rest. Hey, you got the rest taken care of. So I love the energy. I love the what they're doing there. I love the structure, and yeah, just do something about the audio, and we're good.
I'm wondering where the Valentine's peeps are. No, I agree. I agree on that front for sure. What do you think, Ben?
Minor tweak. I would try raising your lights a little bit, angling them down. You'll get rid of some of that shadow behind you. And I think it will just look a little bit more flattering than having it like straight. It is raised up a little bit. Experiment with raising it just a little bit higher, angling down, get it a little closer. But yeah, I agree about the audio. I think lavs would be great. I'm a big fan of using lavs. Otherwise, you could try booming a mic and getting it as close as you can, just maybe between you guys or something like that. Yeah, but those are just some minor things. Also, just like the background itself, if you want to get really technical, you could just kind of like, just pay attention to what's in shot. Like, is it being meaningful to the channel, to the direction of the video, to all of those types of things? Minor tweaks that can make some improvements. So yeah. I love that. I love that you guys wore red though in this video.
Nice
That
detail.
was a really strategic. Yeah, it's a strategic choice. I love that. It's very Valentine's Day. So I can tell that you guys are already thinking about some of these things. So yeah, I think it's cool. I would have personally loved to see in that very beginning, just again, we talk about like adding that energy or stuff like that. When you're like, as you're saying that you're going to try the 12 candies, even just having a real quick montage of like 1, 2, 3, 4, we see the candies kind of like flash, that's a little editing trick that you can do if you're about to do one of those list type videos. Like, give us a quick, sneak peek of some of the things we're about to see, because that may hook us to watch longer if we see one of the ones. Oh, I wonder how that one is going to taste, or what your opinion is on this one, So that's just a quick thing to add a little production value to it. But yeah.
Yeah, I love all of those tips with regards to production. I noticed immediately the shadows on the wall and the lights being they're a bit bright here, and they're casting a pretty strong shadow. So yeah, I think that alone will be a really nice production quality improvement. So excellent work there. I had another point I wanted to make, and I completely lost it now. When you mentioned the background, I was just kind of moving my cursor over some of the things I was noticing. It looks like they have some kind of an organizer right here, and they have like a bin that's open back here. Like, that's the kind of stuff I just take out, just whatever you can do to kind of like really, spruce things up in your space a little bit. I like that they have their like channel logo right here, but I would have liked to see it kind of hung on the wall if we're going to use it as a set piece, because they're kind of blocking it right now. Yeah. So little tiny things like that. Let's just watch a little bit longer and see if anything else comes up.
It is flavored.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's it flavored like?
Well, it says right here, peanut butter in robe in pink cream.
So I skipped to about a minute or so into the video, and I kind of feel like a lot of the energy up front made sense. The intro made sense to me. I'm not very far into this video, and I kind of feel like I'm already hit the middle, the part where the video can kind of tend to sag a little bit, because we're into the candy review, but it's not that you want to prepare for a review of a product like this. You don't want to have an opinion before you film the video. And so I appreciate that, but I do feel like they're not cutting enough out. And I'm only getting that sense from a very short clip, but it doesn't take much for me to start to get that feeling as a viewer, like, oh, is each one going to be this in depth? I kind of just want some quick reactions here.
Yeah, it looks like it is, because I just realized it's a 25-minute video.
Yeah, it's it was a lot of candy. So I feel like they're going to spend almost equal time on each one of these candies. and there's no chapters or anything like that. So if I'm looking for thoughts on a specific one of these, I'm not going to get them because I don't know how to find them. And it's going to be a while, on each one. And it looks like I'm not seeing any candy in this shot. So between each one, like how long until the next one? Like you're going to sit there for a bit without a bag in front of you. So when does the next candy come into frame? All of that stuff, I would be really ruthless in my editing, and I would try to chop this down a lot more. It's a big commitment for this type of video, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of different tips in there. The other thing I would say is the thumbnail. And I noticed this with a lot of their thumbnails, kind of wordy, and I think overproduced. And I only say that because I think a thumbnail like this, really simply, like I would have done like two things. I would have taken your bag of candy and I would have put that on half the frame, maybe with your hand holding it, maybe just get a picture of it alone. And then 2 to 3 words of text, don't buy this, or maybe a price tag or something like that. I think what you've tried to do is put way too much. Like you kind of took a photo from the video, like a still from the video. So you thought about the thumbnail afterwards is what it tells me. And you put too many things in this tiny little picture that's on the left here. And then you're having the text, which is pink on pink. So it's kind of hard to read. You're having the text do all the heavy lifting. And the text isn't saying anything to kind of draw me in. It's not presenting itself in a way that's like, I have to see this video. It's just kind of matter of fact, like Valentine's candy. We're kind of already getting that from the title.
Yeah, and I think the secret to that too, that would even take it up that next level, is like punch in on the thumbnail of your reaction to the candy, like being disgusted by even this freeze frame right here, like your face in it. It's kind of like, meh, like having that sort of, maybe there's 2 of you, so maybe play to that. Maybe he's like handing you a bunch of candy and you're like, or whatever. It gives that viewer a sense of like, oh, some of this is going to be bad or it's going to be good or whatever. So that having the emotional expressions in that can go a long way and really communicate better than what text can.
Yeah. So that's just, something to work on for the future. I would also say I've seen a lot of couple channels do this, and I'm just going to, for any channel that works with more than one person, you don't need to put all the hosts in the thumbnail. You can switch off between the 2 different hosts from time to time. So try not to feel like both of you have to be in a thumbnail in a video that both of you are in. You don't necessarily have to do that. I think it just adds elements where they don't necessarily need to be. So again, just little things to watch out for. I would work on the thumbnails. I'd work on the editing. But overall, love the energy. A lot of cool stuff here. We definitely have some supers we need to get to real quick. And also, I just noticed a super about the poll we put up. So new poll answers: phone, camera, B-roll, animators. Don't forget about us. We talked about this for a little bit. We wanted to pick the most generic answers for our poll that we put up. But basically, most of you film a video with a phone. No camera, B-roll only. I think you could also maybe fall into that category. But like I was thinking screen recording if you play games. We were just curious. We were just curious what everyone's using these days to film their videos. But thank you for that call out there.
Appreciate you, Mary.
We got redefining bodybuilding. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Redefining. Thank you. That took me way too long. Thank you for the super. Caleb, my mirrorless camera is offended by this poll. Ben, I asked you and you told me DSLR was fine. Throwing you under the bus now.
I'm using mirrorless too, so I'm sorry.
Oh, you're even using a camera. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I just kind of put that into the same category, honestly, because I don't know. I think they can have mirrors or not and still technically be DSLR, but that's
now you're gonna fight the viewers on this. Are you?
I'm sorry.
Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. So Caleb wanted to know our group sessions on the weekends. I'm not really sure where this is coming from. If it's a vidIQ Max request, like if we do that on Max, we do our group sessions on vidIQ Max on Thursdays, I believe. If you're in that program, we do these on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Those are the only kind of like sessions I can imagine Caleb is asking about here, unless there's something Ben isn't telling us. Do you have any coaching sessions you're doing on the weekends?
No.
So thank you for the super. Hi, I translate my content to 20 languages. In English, my channel name means what to eat. Should I translate my channel name to every 20 languages?
I don't think so.
Like, so 20 channels? Like, what? How would you? So translate my channel name to every 20 languages.
Yeah, because YouTube, I think the way YouTube does it is that they look at the video. They don't really do things by channel per se. They push videos out by individual videos. So as long as you're translating the video language into whatever, then I think that's pretty much all you need to do.
Yeah. We can move on to the next one. I'm not really. I'm sorry if we're not understanding some of these questions. It happens sometimes. So how can I know if this is a good? And I know, Ben, you did say you had to leave at the top of the hour. So if you do have to leave us, it's okay.
Yeah, I'll stay for just a few more. Yep.
Okay. How can I know if it's a good niche or not? I have a lot of humorous YouTube shorts, but I'm hoping to also do some more with health related content. Also animation with another channel.
That's completely up to you. Depends on what you're passionate about as a creator and what type of content you enjoy making.
I'd say you're splitting your focus a lot. If you can do that, that's great. But like if you're going to do humorous YouTube shorts, but then health related content and animation, even if those are 3 separate channels, which it sounds like they are, how are you going to manage all that? Like that sounds like a lot. Like what's your favorite thing out of those? I would just focus on one for a while. Try to find some success with your favorite one.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I was going to say is like when you have multiple things that you're trying to choose from when it comes down to niche, like think about like, especially if you like them all equally, then like just try to think like which one, depending on your goals, you know, which one could you monetize fastest? Which one could you like start bringing in actual revenue with fastest so that you can then put that money towards other endeavors that are more of the passion projects. If you're wanting to go into it with that sort of a mindset as a business mindset.
Yeah. And then as far as knowing if it's a good niche itself, like any of those, it does come down to what you want to do, but also look and see what other people in that space are doing so you can target the videos properly so those viewers can find you because they're, you know, there's a culture around the niche that you're kind of deciding, right? There's certain words they use, there's certain things they're interested in, certain things they're looking for. So that's kind of how you know. If you feel like you're in the dark and you're just kind of making stuff up, it's time to do that research. My poor little webcam cried at that poll. You know what? No more polls. You're all not getting polls anymore. I'm taking them away. You've lost your polls revoked. How's that? No more polls.
But Ben, man, we appreciate you making the time today. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. vidIQ fam, you're awesome. We'll see you.
Ben's channel link down below. Please go check it out.
Yep.
We got more channels we're going to review. Ben, thank you so much for this hour. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. See you guys.
Then there were 2.
And then there were 2. Thanks, everybody, for your supers. Appreciate you as well. We're going to reset here a little bit while we get ready to pick your channels randomly now. We are going to start the random picker here in just a second. But first, I want to show you our AI coach. In just in case you're wondering, if you are currently at any subscription plan at vidIQ, while this is in its early stages, you can try this tool out for yourself. Think ChatGPT trained as a YouTube coach. You can ask this to help fix your title, write scripts for videos, come up with outlines. You can ask it to help you come up with some community posts. There's all kinds of things that this will help you do to make your life as a creator a lot easier. It can just help give you some motivation on a time that you're just feeling kind of down. Like, hey, listen, I'm sad and I want to make videos because my channel hasn't uploaded in like a week. What do I do to get out of this funk? I've never tried this before, but I know people actually ask questions like this. It sounds like you could use some inspiration, motivation, and encouragement. I have some tips that can help jumpstart your channel back on track. Firstly, make sure to take time to focus on your mental health. Secondly, build a backlog of ideas and create content from. Finally, make sure you track your progress so that you can take pride and celebrate your achievements. I mean, hey, that's solid advice. If you need a break, take a break. It's okay to take a break on YouTube. Take time for your mental health. Notice how it didn't say, get back out there. What are you doing? Smack you in the face, send you on your way. No, take the time that you need. So this is our AI coaching tool. Go to app.vidiq.com to try it out and make sure you're logged into your account. And if you're looking to get all of our Boost tools for a discount, if you're a new customer, you can actually get them today for just $1. Just $1 for your first 30 days of Boost. The link is down below. It's our secret page just for you for being in our live streams and hanging out with us. So thank you so much. That link is down below. All right, fine. I won't tease you anymore. Let's start picking your channels at random. It's the claw. It is back, and it's hungry. Sorry, pick your channel. You don't seem too excited about the claw, Viper. What's going on?
You know, it's the claw. Like LFA calls it in the chat, Clawbert.
Clawbert. Clawbert the claw. Dr. Clawbert. Clawbert MD. Okay, so we're going to surgically remove some channels with Clawbert MD here. We have 347 on the gaming form. We have 421 on the non-gaming form. So quite the difference today between the two forms. We're going to go with 380 or something. I don't know. What did it? I don't even remember what the gaming form is at. 346. Are you serious? Okay. 346 it is. All right. Someone who like just submitted. How can I my short subscribers to watch my long form videos and live streams? I'm so glad you asked. All right.
So before we get into the video, I kind of talk about this on tomorrow's podcast. Tomorrow's podcast is an entire episode about me talking about best practices for YouTube Shorts. I even talk about the interview that Colin and Samir recently did with employees of YouTube talking about shorts and now the fact that shorts are monetized. So I reference parts of that interview in the podcast tomorrow. So if you want to know all about shorts and how the monetization works and what the best practices are, make sure you're listening to tomorrow's podcast because that's what it's all about.
Tube Talk, vidIQ.com/Tube Talk for all the episodes of the Tube Talk podcast. Get it wherever you get your podcasts. A lot of valuable information in there. Just sitting, waiting for you to find it. So thank you, Viper. Good call out there. We have a whole bunch of shorts. We have some longs. So this is one of the cases we're actually going to look at a couple different videos from this creator. It looks like a relatively young creator. Let's see I want to see the short that has over 1,000 views. And then we'll take it in we'll talk about it for a second. And then we'll look at a long form video.
Oh, he was running for his life away from that chopper. Ooh, we got it.
So pretty fast paced moment there. Looped pretty quick. You got somebody in the stairwell. Pretty cool. So you're making first person shooter content, with your shorts. And I saw from your homepage that you're also making, first person shooter content over there. So that's also always the good place to be. I wouldn't necessarily, let me mute this real quick. I wouldn't necessarily do this in a short. Anything to indicate that it's time to swipe away? No, I want people to go and watch it again if possible. So you don't need to ask for subscribers. There's already a big subscribe button down here with all of your shorts. Let it be. Let it be. Some people ask for subscribers with shorts. They do it very well. But even the ones who do it well, I'm like, you don't really have to do that. People, if they enjoy your stuff, they may subscribe. You want them to watch more of your stuff. So YouTube, if they watch this twice, like YouTube's really likely to recommend another short by you to them. So that's kind of what you're hoping to do is like, again, build up that watch session.
Also to address the question that you asked us on the forum, if your short form content is similar to the long form content that you make, and what Dan was saying, it looks like that is the case for you, YouTube will automatically recommend these short viewers your long form content because it's so similar. So you don't have to worry about trying to do that yourself as a creator. Let YouTube take care of that. That's what the whole algorithm is in place for, to get viewers the correct videos. So again, if your long form and short form content are similar, then YouTube will naturally recommend your long form videos to your short form viewers. So just let YouTube deal with it.
Yeah. I ultimately think you're doing shorts the right way, though. You aren't trying to get people to watch the full video somewhere else. You kept it as long as it absolutely needed to be. I think maybe some funny music or sound effects could be added here. Like there's more you can do with this to make it a little more interesting, but you're already doing some pretty good stuff with shorts. So I just wanted to see, so we can compare it now to a long form video, because you are, doing more Warzone content in the long form side. And so we're hoping that people from your shorts watch this when they're ready to watch long form video. The other thing, just to add on to Viper's point though, don't forget that people are in a certain mindset when they're watching shorts, and it's kind of hard to pull them over to the long form content in general. So you got to wait until they're ready to watch your long form videos. So let YouTube do that work for you. Next time they're sitting down in front of their TV, YouTube's going to recommend your channel to them, and hopefully they recognize that it's a game they like because they already seen your shorts and they want to know more.
Let's go. Baby EJ is in the building. You say hi? All right, let's get it. All right, where are we going? Over there? We're too far away from each other. Y'all trying to get me caught up. Like, I just need to. Honestly, mini trios is kind of easier. Hey, we're gonna have to kill them then.
So about 25 seconds in, I know we tend to say like, oh, don't use intros where you're like, hey, welcome back to my channel and stuff like that. But I don't want that advice to be confused with like a hook. I still think videos should have a hook.
Yes.
And that's kind of what was missing here for me.
The thing that she did on this particular video was there's way too many like menu screens. Like again, I tell you guys when you're doing these let's play videos, we don't want to see your menu selection. We don't want to see your menu screen. Just get us right into the gameplay. That's what we came for. And I mean, watching you go through menu screens is like watching paint dry. Ain't nobody trying to watch paint dry. So don't do it. Don't do that to it. Please don't do it.
The video says it features 2 other creators, but it was really hard to hear anyone else in the video. A lot of the big time people I watch these days will take the time to introduce the other people, like even if it's not right at the beginning, like as someone else talks, you know, they find a way to put that person's name on the screen. They let you know that that's so and so talking, you know. So all of that's kind of missing for me, and they were just in general hard to hear. You might be using the in-game voice chat. Try to use something like Discord in the future, something that and make sure everyone's audio is tweaked right. Like take the time to really make sure that everyone's coming through clearly, so that everyone can hear. If your friends have like relevant roles in the content, they should be easier to parse from the rest of the video. But it sounded like such background noise that it made it hard to hear what was going on for me. So just a minor quality improvement there. I ultimately don't have like a ton of issues with anything going on here. I just would have loved to see a hook because I just don't know what we're doing today. It kind of feels like you've captured some footage and you uploaded it, but there wasn't a lot of like, you didn't do that work at the beginning. It seems. It doesn't seem like you put a lot of time into thinking, what should the thumbnail of this video be? What should the title of this video be? And we want to see you do that work before anything else. You know, like it's your first Warzone 2 win. So I get that, but I still think the video could have told the story of that. You know, it could have still had a hook. It could have still had like a whole story behind it. Otherwise, I would be setting goals for yourself. Like today, we're going to try to do blank in Warzone. And I would really make that clear to the audience what they're about to watch. So this is kind of some of the things missing for me.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, when you use text in your thumbnails, it looks very clear, easy to read. You've taken, it looks like 1 or 2 pictures of yourself that you just kind of repeat a lot. So maybe it's time to do some more with that. Like try more photos of you with different facial reactions. If you're going to put yourself in the thumbnails, I think you should take up way more of the thumbnail and you should have a different reaction as much as possible. Like whatever one works well with what you're trying to say. So this one's obviously like a swear word, but they're mad at you for camping in the game. So that should elicit like a different facial reaction from you. Like, you know, like a reaction, or maybe you're upset or you're laughing because it's funny, like whatever it might be. But it's hard to get like gauge what your facial reaction is because you've kind of tucked yourself in the corner of the thumbnail, you know? So really think about these things when you're constructing your thumbnails too. I think better thumbnails are going to help you out here a lot. All right. So thank you for submitting your channel. That was PrestigeQuick Gaming. Congrats on over 600 subscribers. Really cool stuff. I think you can go far. All right. We'll go back to the claw. We're going to need to update it. We got 435 on the non-gaming form. 40. 336. All right. No comment left. They just gave us a link. That's totally cool. So this is, I think, another like train spotting kind of channel. We've seen these from time to time. This is in itself like a whole genre of content. And I have a feeling I know what advice we're going to want to give like right off the bat, because I think I know what video we're about to get into here, Viper. But I will admit, whatever we say, I don't personally know this space very well. I'm not clear on the purpose of this content, generally speaking. It's not content necessarily made for me, but I'm going to do my best. Let's see. So definitely some music. I don't know if we can play or not, but footage of different trains passing by. Can't read the title. Oh, wow. That was like a classic looking train. Like when you think train, that's like what, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was like an intro sequence, and now
Yeah.
now it's quiet.
Now we're into the actual video.
So that's quite a long intro.
Yeah. And there is no commentary on this video whatsoever.
I think that's like a thing with these videos, though. That's why I'm like, I don't know who, like, I know people watch these. I just don't quite fully understand them. They spot trains, so we don't have to.
Okay. So the intro can be a little confusing because I was confused at first because you're cutting from train to train to train. If the video is going to be about one train or one type of train and you have that intro like that, then I'm confused as a viewer because I'm expecting to get content about one type of train, but half the video is of that intro.
Right.
So you're automatically confusing me. And then secondly, you don't do anything to alleviate my confusion because there's no commentary, there's no captions, there's no narration, there's nothing. So as a viewer, I don't know if I'm on the right video or not. Did I click the wrong button? Did I click the wrong video? But there's no reassurance from you as a creator or me, the viewer, that I clicked it on the right video. Now, it seems to be in a different language, so even if you did narrate, I wouldn't know what you were saying anyway, unless I use some type of caption. But still, I just feel like this could be done a little bit. I'm not hating on the content or whatever. The content is fine, but for a viewer, it has to be presented better. Like, I don't want to be confused when I click on the video because you're doing like an intro screen if you're supposedly talking about one type of train. So I just need a little bit more structure in these type of videos, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. I think one thing I've seen with these types of videos is they're usually a bit longer. Like, this was a very, very short video. It was just literally like the one train, like, kind of passing by. So I do wonder if maybe there's more you could do to add to it besides like a really long intro with all these different trains in it. You know, especially if you use the same intro every time, you're going to start to put off your regular viewers because they're going to skip that every time. Like, yeah, I know all the trains. Like, they just want to see the latest one. So yeah, I think that intro could be hurting you. And if your videos are only 30 seconds long, do shorts. I mean, it's a different audience over there, but it feels like this content is the length of a YouTube short when you take out that intro. And there's nothing wrong with that. Shorts are valid. As a content creator, you are still an excellent content creator if you make YouTube shorts. It looks like you are experimenting with them. You got thousands of views on some of these.
Sure. The other thing, the thumbnails.
Right.
The whatever that is, that channel stamp that you have at the bottom right, you need to move it to the left. If you're gonna have that there, just move it to the left, bottom left, because again, the YouTube timestamp is covering it up. And I'm surprised you haven't made this adjustment already looking at the channel like it. But yeah, just move it to the bottom left if you're gonna have it on there, so we can actually see what the actual number is.
The last point I want to make before moving on is research. I think because we don't fully understand this space, we might not be giving you the best advice. So the best advice I can offer anyone in this scenario is find channels like this one, but the ones that are on top of their game. What are they doing that you're not doing? How long are their videos? Do they have commentary? You know, what is it about their videos that made you want to start your own channel like this one? And start to, you know, find your way of having a similar content so you can start to get views that compare to these other train spotting channels. That's the best advice I can offer you. That's if you were, you know, sitting across the table from us and it was a one-on-one, that's exactly what I would start doing. You know, probably before I even got in that call with you, is I'd be trying to look up more and more about this space on YouTube. So that is the work you can absolutely do for yourself. And hopefully all of the things we've said offer a bit of help for you. So before we get into the next channel, let's start looking at our supers here. We got a whole bunch. I want to thank you all for your super chats, your questions. How often do I live stream? It's kind of up to you. I think whatever fits your schedule in whatever you've got going on in your life. How often do you think you can live stream? I have a video I did for Monday. It was a live streaming tips video. And one thing I didn't really cover was the frequency, because it really is just about you and your community and how much time you want to commit to not only how often you live stream, but how long you want to live stream. I found that on YouTube, live streams can actually be a bit shorter. Whereas on like a site like Twitch, you're only known if you're live at that moment. But on YouTube, those live streams live on afterwards. If you want people to watch after they're done, shorter might be a little bit better. But yeah, it really, truly, truly is going to be up to you. So yeah, it's just kind of figure out a schedule that works. I'm doing a 30-day challenge, one short, one day. And it's tough because I put 2+ hours per video, fitness B-roll, and I only get about 100 to 400 views. That does sound tough. I would be asking myself some tough questions about the quality of those shorts. What's happening the first couple of seconds, you know, because if you can get people to stick around and like get their curiosity going in those first couple of seconds, they're likely to watch the rest. Viper, what do you think?
So you put in 2+ hours per video, fitness B-roll, and you only get 400 views. You just got to keep going. But really, just keep going, because you got to remember that that's 1 to 400 real people that are watching your videos. So somebody getting value out of your videos, and if you're consistently getting 1 to 400 views, you're doing pretty good. I'm going to assume that you're a relatively new creator. So if you're getting 1 to 400 videos per short every day, I think you're doing good. Just keep doing it. Keep up the consistency. Keep up the good work, and sooner or later, you never know when one of them will pop. So just keep at it.
Yeah, I think one thing I would ask you. You took on a 30-day challenge to make a short every day. Are you now uploading for the sake of uploading? And I think when you take on video upload challenges like this, that's exactly what's happening. You're uploading because you told yourself you were going to upload. And that puts you under a lot of pressure. It's a good thing to do if you want to really like dive into something and you're like, I want to do shorts and I want to like go hard. But you're not seeing the views you want to see from it. And you should keep going. But I think, Viper, when you say keep going, I kind of interpret that as like, keep going, but also look to improve.
Yeah.
There's obviously something not going right if you're not satisfied with the views you're getting. If you feel like you should be getting more, then not only do you want to upload and continue uploading, you want to take time to improve. Does that mean cutting your 30-day challenge short so you can spend some extra time watching some tutorials, studying up on other shorts creators in your space to see what they're doing, what's successful for them? Maybe it might mean you cut yourself short, but you're the only one holding yourself to account with this challenge. Your viewers are not standing by their phones waiting for you to upload the next one. I promise, for any of you, that's not happening. Like, your viewers will be happy that you continue uploading. Maybe your super fans might notice that you cut your 30-day challenge short, or you skipped a day or whatever. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you are the one holding yourself to that standard. And if you're not happy with the views you're getting, you don't have to finish the challenge just because now I got to grind this out. I'm not even having fun anymore. I'm not accusing you of saying that, right? Like, but that's how I would feel. Like 20 days in, if I'm still spinning my wheels and nothing's changing, I'm like, do I even finish? Like, this isn't working the way I want it to. I might take a break from it and try and figure out what went wrong. Why isn't this working? So you gotta study up. Why do people even watch shorts in the first place? They're looking for those quick dopamine hits. They're looking for something interesting or funny. And they're just swiping through trying to find something cool. So what is it that you can do differently to give them that really quick hit of dopamine with your fitness shorts? Only you can answer that, of course. So, do that research. Caves Playz, thank you for the super. We did check out their channel a little bit earlier. They had the soda stream that they're about to blow up in their empty kitchen. How can you find trends in your niche? I think your niche, Viper, maybe you have some thoughts here. I think it's hard to define. When someone is just doing fun things with practical household items and taking on fun challenges, it's more of like that personality channel, right? So I would be looking at trending things that people are doing maybe on TikTok or whatever. And that's like the trends in my niche I'd be looking for, like things that interest you, that you feel like, oh, I can put my personality behind this. And if people are looking for someone to continue doing this, remember years and years and years ago, some of you might not remember this, the ice bucket challenge. That became like a trend, right? But it was just people of all types of channels dumping buckets of ice in their head for a good cause. So I'm not saying you need to wait for something like that to come around, but there's littler things going on. There's smaller things happening that, oh, so-and-so did the whatever challenge. Also, so-and-so did the whatever challenge. This person did it too. Like, maybe I can do that, I look at your content and I think of like Ryan Trahan, he takes a simple concept such as traveling across the country on a penny and does a series on it, blows up even larger than he was before. And that was him not necessarily jumping on a trend, but he took a very, very, very simple concept. Everyone knows what a penny is, and people can comprehend the stress of trying to travel like that. So that's all it was. It was a really approachable topic. And so that's other part of your strategy, I think, is just to try different things and make it very approachable. Like stuff that any everyday person would understand as soon as they read the title and thumbnail. They understand what you're doing. But it's tough. It's a really, the kind of videos you're making are a tough space to be in, but I think that you have the right chops for it, personally.
Yeah, Dan kind of stole my thunder. I was going to tell you to look to TikTok, because if you want to know what's happening with the latest trends as far as short form video goes, TikTok is where you want to take a inspiration from. So definitely check out TikTok.
Yeah. So best of luck in shorts too. I mean, do some really quick, fun things on shorts. That's a great way to get discovered. It's showing people things that they didn't ask to see. It's exactly what I want when I'm watching shorts, just something new. Should I separate Let's Plays, guides, reviews to a different channel? If you're covering the same game, same type of game, no. It sounds like that's all gaming content to me, is what you're referring to. So that doesn't make much sense to me. Some gaming channels, they'll do really like buttoned up Let's Play content on, or not buttoned up Let's Play content, buttoned up review and guides on one channel, and they'll have a Let's Play channel. And so you could do that because it's more casual. So you could separate it between like professional, casual, but then that's a lot of work. Again, starting a second channel is always a viable option, but keep in mind, a second channel is still a whole nother channel. A lot of people here just have one channel and they're asking us for help. You're here asking us for help with multiple channels. So take a step back and go, well, wait a minute. Like, what if I just focused on one thing for a while? What if I was really good at reviews? What if I really enjoyed doing that? What if I was good at guides? I was like the master at one game. Could you just release a whole series of guides on that video and then branch out slowly into other types of things? Watch my latest video on starting a gaming channel in 2023. It is linked in the description below. There's a certain section about gaming videos, and it's the first one there. Click on that. If you haven't seen it already, I go way more in depth on things like that. So check that out. Mr. Moo. Hey, I started my channel using things I've learned from vidIQ. With only one video, I've already seen rapid growth. So massive thanks to vidIQ. Thank you. We love to hear it. We appreciate that. I have a family staying with me. I don't want them to know I'm trying to do YouTube because I don't want dead subs. How do I still record?
Just because you're doing YouTube doesn't mean they're going to be interested in your content. I don't think I would worry about it too much. And if you are that concerned, you can go record other places. You have a smartphone, leave the house, go to the corner somewhere, go to a park, or do whatever you got to do. But there's ways to get it done. But I think you're making too much of it. But that's just my opinion.
Ask them kindly not to subscribe. I've definitely asked friends and family not to subscribe to my channel because I didn't want, especially when it's brand new, I didn't want the YouTube recommendation system trying to find viewers like them to watch my content. Like when I'm talking like my first 5-10 subs, right? After a certain point, it won't matter. But yeah, if you don't want them to subscribe to you, just be like, hey, you know, I don't mind if you watch me record or whatever it is you're comfortable with. Tell them that and then say, it would do me a huge favor if you didn't subscribe. I'm really trying to just build this up organically. And they'll understand. Family and friends should absolutely understand when you have an ask of that. If you feel like it's not going to go well and that it's going to be like a whole thing, then maybe while they're visiting, you give yourself a little break because that's not bad either. But yeah, I do think you might be overthinking a little bit, like having a couple of family members subscribe, even if that creates dead subs, doesn't really do anything because subscribers don't really do anything. That as a metric, subscribers for your channel really don't matter. What matters is the views you're getting today. That's what matters. We have a lot of dead subs on our channel. We have over 1 million subscribers. A lot of people have checked us out, got the value, and didn't come back. And that's okay. You know what? That's okay. It's still a great marker of where we've gone as a channel. We don't look at that number and get disappointed because we see, we only got 100,000 views. We get really excited when we get 100,000 views still to this day. So best of luck. Whole bunch of supers. We're not going to get to all of them right now. We're going to go back to channels. I'm going to take one more before we go back to some channels. Can I put audiobooks in the title for reading a book? Wait a minute. Can I put audiobooks in the title for reading a book?
If I'm understanding the question correctly, no, because even though you're reading, it's not an audiobook. You're just reading a book on a video. An audiobook is an actual thing.
Be very careful reading a book on YouTube. It's kind of like playing a movie on your channel,
Yep.
you're taking away the ability for this person, or you're making it easy for this person to quote unquote pirate the book because you're providing it in full. You know, that's going to get you into some hot water. I think you can do movie reviews and book reviews and things like that. And as long as you're not giving away the whole thing for free, you know, you shouldn't be doing free audiobook work anyway, because that's like a whole industry. But that aside, you're going to get yourself into some copyright hot water if you're like reciting entire books on your channel.
Yep.
That's definitely not a space I would get
The
into.
author will want to have word with you, and they won't be very kind words.
They won't be words. They'll just be copyright takedowns, and you don't want that.
That too. That too.
You'll want to have words with them, and there'll be nothing you can do. All right, we'll get back to those in a bit. We are at the point where if you give a super chat, we might not get to it. Sometimes we do miss them, so we do apologize if we end up missing yours. But we do have a lot of channels we also want to get to. So we will go back to the CLAAAAAW MD. And we have 461 on this form. We have 380 on this form. We're just going to keep it nice and tight here. 380 on the gaming form. 342. All right. That's just a few channels back. I'll just hit the button a couple times for that. Why get my number pad all sticky? All right. Shorts channel. There we go. No specific comments for us, but they have over 1,000 subscribers. Online gaming and anime dubs. This might be a tough one for us. Okay.
Not gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one for them. I already think they're not on like.
So just some music and different sniper shots. There's not a lot we can say about a channel like this, other than continue studying what's working in the space. If you're doing anime dubs, you kind of have to rely on other people's content, which is always a scary thing, kind of scary place to be. But yeah, it's tough when we see channels like this because there's not like enough of you like that we can critique really. It's just about capturing interesting moments, funny moments, things like that, and uploading them to shorts. So there's not a lot I feel like I can say. What about you?
Yeah, since it seems like this person is reusing other people's content. I mean, what I'm going to say next doesn't really apply, but I'll say it anyway. Again, about the viewing experience. When you're not using the entire real estate of the vertical aspect ratio for shorts, you are creating a negative viewing experience for a short viewer. So this can't happen. Your short should not look like this, you all. Just letting y'all know. And I'll talk about this tomorrow too, but your short should not look like this. There's a reason why the aspect ratio is 9:16. Use the entire 9:16 when you're making a short, because that is terrible. Don't do that to people.
Yeah. So we'll move on. Let's pick another gaming channel. And that's going to be number 51.
Ooh.
All right. They want to improve their click-through rate. They do Let's Plays with challenges. Okay. Atomic. All right. Got a Minecraft channel. OP Villager Trader. New Death Curse Ep 5. All right.
Has begun, punishing those who die. Every death, worsening the curse, tightening the grip.
Your audio here is very difficult to hear. I know you're trying to, it sounds like you're trying to do a thing like this dramatic opening, which is fine. It's just the microphone you're using is very echoey, and it's whatever you're saying is not coming through very well. So that's the first critique I have.
Plunging you deeper into decay.
Hi guys, my name's Atomic and welcome to the Death Curse series. And in today's episode, we are going to finish our villager breeder, and we are going to finish the villager trading hall. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tear down this old villager breeder. It wasn't working because I actually have no idea. I think it's because of the slabs. Because while I was editing the episode...
So that's 30 seconds. I would say that now I'm like kind of confused. I would get rid of that intro.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Because on the intro point, we got some type of some dude speaking, and then we go to the video, and there's a girl speaking. Like, what is going on? What's happening here?
It's that aside, like aside from all of that, the sound of it, it's the confusion of like dark spookiness to, hey, welcome back to Minecraft. Today we're changing up our villager breeder, and I'm like, you know, there's what happened. Well, that was a huge contrast.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. And another thing that I'll say, when the actual creator came on and started making a video, I think she might have been talking a tad too fast. And I tell you guys, you really have to be careful about how you pace yourself when you're talking, because you want the viewer to understand what you're saying, and you want YouTube auto captions to understand what you're saying. It's very important. So definitely make sure you try to slow down when you're pronunciating words and speaking in general on YouTube. It will definitely help you.
Mm-hmm. Now, you pitched yourself as someone doing Let's Plays and challenges, and I get that the Death Curse series is like a very specific type of Minecraft series you're doing, so I guess the challenge is implied. But I, as a new viewer to your channel, don't know what the Death Curse series is, and I'm not necessarily expecting you to fully explain it every single time, but at the very least, I would like to know what the stakes are of this episode. You're going into this recording, you know, and beforehand, you can prepare a little bit more to come up with something for this episode other than we're going to rebuild the villager breeder, like, or what you're going to rebuild it and there's something chasing you, you know, like I think for Minecraft these days, especially, it's a really hard place to be. You want to give people a little bit more to latch onto, you know, some stakes would be really helpful. If it's supposed to be a challenge, you know, video, then we need to feel like you are under some kind of pressure. That's very, very important. But more importantly is just zooming out real quick into channel review mode. Title and thumbnail wise, I'm not getting that excitement that I need to click. This is the Minecraft space. Very, very hard to rank for. I will say that your latest video, OP Villager Trading, New Death Curse, Episode 5. I think the reason people clicked on this one was because of OP Villager Trading. I think you're promising in this episode that you're going to do something overpowered with trading villagers in Minecraft, which is a whole mechanic. Just for anyone who doesn't know, just another Minecraft mechanic, trading with villagers. So that's pretty cool. So I think you got some extra clicks from that, but none of the last part of the title is needed. New Death Curse Episode 5. As a new viewer, I don't care. I don't care that it's Episode 5. I don't care about Welcome Back to the Series. It's great that it happens to be part of a series, and halfway through the video, maybe you can let me know, by the way, this is my Death Curse world. You should totally subscribe and then move on from it. But ultimately, each video should stand on its own so that you can get some new viewers, so that you don't have to rely on the very few people that you've found already. Like, you're just kind of making videos for them over and over again. I want to see you reach out to some new people, and that's going to take making a series that's every video stands out on its own. Super, super important. I would also recommend that you check out my gaming videos down below in the description, because we go into a lot more detail on those strategies. But thank you for submitting all around review for this person in terms of production quality and channel review. So best of luck. Let's do a non-gaming channel. Let me update the claw here. And we will pick out 187. All right, Cassandra Joy, vlogs of life in Ohio. Struggling to get monetized. I've niched down, have lovely engaged community. Growth is just slow. All right. All right. So it looks like they are doing, do we say book? What kind of content? Vlog life in Ohio. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about books. So I'm not seeing like life in Ohio part. But let's just click on the latest video. We might need to do more of a channel review on this one.
Hello, fellow YouTubers. I'm Cassandra Joy, and welcome to a new series called Chats with Cass. This is going to be a sit-down type of format where I pick a topic and I chat about it. I asked you all some of your opinions on what you would like me to discuss in these kind of videos, so I have a whole list of things to pull from week to week. But for today, to start this brand new series, I thought we would chat about books, specifically what's on my TBR.
All right, Dan, we've heard enough. I've seen enough here. Okay. This isn't going to go back to stuff I've said before in these live streams, so I'll just say it again. when you all are doing vlogging content as a brand new creator, people do not know who you are. So when you're making this type of content, you have to be able to provide some type of value. You have to be able to have reasons or have some type of value proposition or give the viewer a reason to want to watch you. It can't be all about, oh, a day in my life, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. What does that have to do with Viper? What does that have to do with Dan? What does that have to do with anybody that's watching this live chat right now? Why should we care? And that is what you have to ask yourself when you're making this type of content. Now, I'm going to say what I always say. I'm not saying that you can't vlog as a new creator. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you have to structure and package your vlog in such a way that the value proposition smacked me in the face, literally, to get me to click on it. Okay. So instead of titling the video, every book I own, this, that, and the other, if you have a popular book in that collection, that should be the highlight. That should be the title of the video. I talk about such and such book, and it's popular, and people care because it's a popular book. Or if something in particular happens in your life that maybe resonates with a broader audience, then that needs to be the title of your thumbnail, or that needs to be the focus of your title and thumbnail. You have to bring in a bigger audience when you're new, because just you being you is not enough to make people click. You have to give them a reason to care about you in the beginning, which means you have to provide some type of value to them. It can't be just about you when you're first starting out. You have to provide value. Otherwise, we're not going to click because we don't know you. We don't care about you yet. Dan.
Yeah. So I don't know if we've clicked on a one-off video. It's episode 1. So obviously this isn't their usual series, right? I'm going to say that I don't feel like this type of content is necessarily like bad, right? But what it is only for the people who already know you, is kind of what Viper's alluding to there. Like, you're not doing anything in this particular video to reach a new audience, and maybe that's okay. Maybe that's the plan, right? Like, sometimes I'm going to podcast kind of to just my regular viewers, and sometimes I'm going to make those videos that reach out to other people. I'd find a balance there. This is like content for you. This is what kind of fills your soul, right? You're just getting to hang out with your viewers, and that's great. But you can do that a little bit on YouTube, but you want to do more content that is for them, more content that's going to draw them in. So we're only seeing one video, and that's why I was worried we might need to do like a full channel review to really like answer their bigger question that they had for us, which is like, my growth is slow. But I'm just looking at the titles and thumbnails here, and the one before that was Bookish Weekend in my life. So again, like a video about you and books that you're into and things that you're doing. But I will say that you very obviously have like your finger on the pulse of probably a very specific type of like book, right? What if you, and Viper, you kind of already said this, but like, what if you reviewed one of those books and you did it with the people in mind that have never seen you before? Like, keep people in mind who don't know who you are at all. You write out the script, you write out your review for them, because you're trying to get new viewers. You're telling us your growth is slow. So you need to do more content that's going to cast a wide net to some new viewers. So I would shift the focus in at least some of your videos. Doesn't have to be every single upload, but I would shift the focus from you to other viewers that never met you before. Treat them as completely new viewers. And what I don't want to see in any case is, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel. My name's Cass. And what I do here, like, give me just a strong hook. You can introduce yourself after the hook a little bit if you want, but give me that, like, you know, I just picked up this book and it sucks, and throw it on the desk and go, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this book so you don't make the same mistake I did and spend your $12 on it. You know, like, give me something really funny or something about that fits your personality more. Obviously that's me, but fits your personality a bit more, that really draws people into you. Like, show off a little bit more of your personality before you just kind of come out and tell me like, I'm so-and-so and this is my channel, and on this channel I do this, this, and this, and this, this. We don't, that's really a dated way to do an intro. Like, people want a strong hook. So they clicked on a video, a title and a thumbnail about a book review. Now smack them in the face, like Viper said, in that first few seconds. What is it that we're going to see in this video? You're going to review this book and give me a taste of that opinion you're going to give me. It sucked. Boom. Throw it on the table. No, I've never read a more insane book. So now I'm not sure where you stand. Is it insane because you just loved it, or is it insane because you can't believe you spent your money on it? Like, give me something to like kind of latch onto and say, by the way, I'm Cass, subscribe. I do videos like this all the time. Keep those calls to action, keep those introductions of you really, really short. Because remember, It's new viewers. They'll get to know you as time goes on. Maybe they'll join you for chats with Cass in the future, but that's how you grow. It's always thinking about these new viewers. You're always making content. Yeah, and I say always. Sometimes you make content for new viewers, and in this case, chats with Cass this is for your current viewers. This is not going to grow your channel, and that's okay depending on what your goals are. There's nothing wrong with that. But just because you came to us and said I'm not growing, that's where this criticism comes from.
Okay, Dan, while we're here, let's talk about these thumbnails, because we can offer a little bit of advice on these thumbnails too. They're too busy. I'm going to be honest. They're too busy. And somebody jumped why can I not talk? And some of these thumbnails you're using 2, 3, 4, 5 images. Like, that's too many. Keep it to one image if you can, 2 top. And then the text is okay for the most part. Although that black text on that third one on the top row, that black text is too small. But most of the time your texting is okay. Although you might want to lighten up on the text too, as I tell you guys all the time. If you can use 3 words or less as text in your thumbnails, you're definitely doing good. And your titles are too long too. You need to simplify your title. So your packaging needs to be simplified, Cass, just to be honest with you, because right now it's too convoluted. It's too what's the word I'm looking for? It's too cluttered. Yeah, it's too cluttered.
Yeah.
So simplify it. Less text, less on the title, and just make it simpler for us to understand what your video is going to be about. Yeah. Keep it simple. That's really the name of the game here.
Lower the amount of elements. So in this one, bookish weekend in my life, that's one element. That's a block of text. Then you have you on the left. That's element number 2. There's a picture in the middle of like a coffee bar or something. Element number 3. Coffee sitting next to a book. Element number 4. There's a photo at the bottom that I cannot see. Maybe 2 photos. So that's element like 5 and 6. So try to limit yourself to 2, no more than 3 elements per thumbnail. And yeah, keep it super, super simple, because what these collage style thumbnails do, like in my opinion, this is a trap a lot of people fall into. You try to explain your entire video in one collage thumbnail, and you're trying to put all of the information in the video in one thumbnail. That's not what you do with thumbnails. You just want one little nugget of the video, the most important one, right? The one that interacts with the title the best. And you want your thumbnail and your title to play off of each other. You don't need to explain your whole video in one thumbnail. And I would include that same tip even for the content that's more for your regular viewers, like chats with Cass. That should also be a very simple thumbnail of you sitting down with a cup of coffee and maybe holding a book. Just super, super simple. Maybe you don't even need text in that one. So yeah, no, great tips there. We've given them a lot. So hopefully there's at least something in there. Even if you don't agree with some of it, that's totally okay. This is just how we would do it. It's okay to take our advice, completely ignore it, cherry pick it, whatever you want to do. We just want to see you succeed. So best of luck. Bunch of super chats, bunch of them, tons of them. Thank you so much, guys. Remember, we might not get to all of these, so do keep that in mind if you're doing super chats. I get a huge drop in audience retention right at the start of my video. I'm concerned my audio balance is incorrect. How do I know if my audio is the problem or if it's something else? Get a second set of ears. We have a Discord community. You could maybe ask in there. It's linked down below, vidIQ.com/Discord. Or if you have a friend that you trust, someone like that, just ask them straight up. Just, that's what it really, like, if you're not sure, definitely get someone else to listen. All right. Here for a moment, $5. Thank you so much. 96% of my views right now are coming from non-subscribers. How can I get my subs to interact again with my content? Welcome to YouTube.
Yeah, just make more content. I think this probably has to do with consistency more than anything. As long as you're consistent, your stuff will come back. But I don't know if I would be complaining personally. If 96% of my views were from non-sub, that means that YouTube is pushing your content out to more and more people. So that's actually a good thing.
Yeah. Remember, like, your subscribers at the end of the day, subscribers are so fleeting, because clicking the subscribe button is as easy as clicking the like button on a video. People click it. Sometimes you ask them to, and they're like, sure, whatever. And they don't really come back sometimes. And that's okay. That's why we say subscribers don't matter. We're not saying the people that subscribe don't matter. We're saying that as a metric, subscribers don't really do anything to move the needle. Where it's really important is your returning viewers. Look at your metrics and try to see how many of your viewers are returning viewers, how many are coming back. That's your true subscribe count, your current subscribe count, the people coming back today. I mean, that's a way better measure to, chase down. I'm top in my gaming category, but I'm not growing. Should I pivot? It sounds like to me you've hit a ceiling. I read this comment a minute ago. I was thinking about this. It sounds like you've hit a ceiling in your category. Some games are like this. Some of them just aren't that popular, and that's okay. Sometimes you just pick a game you really enjoy. You master it, right? Like in terms of like views and stuff, you are the go-to authority. If you're not growing, I would consider a pivot because you might have hit a point where a lot of those viewers would be happy to follow you to a similar game. If you're going to pivot, though, make sure it's a similar game and don't necessarily, you could do this. You could go in your community tab and ask people, hey, would you watch this, or this? But you're going to get such like a vocal minority of your viewership. Just go in with a little bit of like confidence, commit to the pivot. That's my other piece of advice. Find something that you believe that you would enjoy that's similar to the other thing you're doing and commit to the pivot. You will lose some viewers, but you're going to gain new ones. That's the whole idea of pivoting a channel like that is growing the channel. Like you'll gain some new people, but if you feel like you've taken the other one as far as you can, you're done with it, you're not growing anymore anyway, commit to the pivot. How important is closed captioning?
Very important. YouTube actually has auto caption. So even if you don't close caption the video yourself, YouTube will do it for you. This is why I keep talking about how fast you guys talk and pacing yourself properly when you're delivering your content, because if you talk too fast, then you leave it up to YouTube's auto caption to try to decipher what you're saying. And take it from me, a guy who has personal experience and just how terrible YouTube's auto captioning system is, it will really mess up your videos, especially, and this is kind of rare, but it does happen, especially when the YouTube auto captions you saying bad words when you actually in reality did not. It doesn't happen to a lot of your favorite creators more than me, but this is again why you have to be very careful about how you enunciate and talk. You can do what I do and pay for captions, although that gets a little expensive depending on how often you upload, but it's definitely a way to get around YouTube's auto caption. So again, just be careful about how you pace yourself when you're talking. Try to talk in a nice, even manner. Don't talk too fast. So YouTube's auto caption can clearly decipher what you're saying.
Yeah, a lot of people watching on silent these days. Like, people watch videos and don't even turn the volume on, which is why you see captions throughout so many shorts now. It's important. I think it's becoming more important. People have realized that, like, oh, there's a lot of viewers who depend on these for one reason or another. So very, very important. I'm so glad I found you guys. I applied for the lessons you teach. I've applied the lessons to teach my channel, and I've already seen more growth. You guys are. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Keep going and good luck. How to edit thumbnails for vertical shorts.
What do you mean? No.
On Android, you can select a frame if you upload for mobile, but don't worry so much about that.
No.
I don't want anyone focusing so much on shorts thumbnails because a lot of people aren't going to see that thumbnail. They're going to be scrolling and YouTube's just going to give them the video without having to click the thumbnail. So
thumbnails on short, not important. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it until it becomes more of like a thing. Hopefully it doesn't. Do you think YouTube is restricting my content since I'm doing airsoft and it could be rated as a real firearm channel?
What is airsoft?
Airsoft is like it's toy guns, basically, little plastic pellets. It uses air to shoot the pellets.
Possible, but I would like to think that the YouTube robot is a little bit smarter than that. But then again, maybe it might not be. So it could be. I don't know. One way to test it is to put your browser or put your YouTube page in restricted mode and see if your videos are coming up. So you can test that.
Yeah, it's hard for us to say, obviously. If you just feel like you're not getting the views you want, look at some other airsofters, see what the kind of views they're getting, see how they title their videos, see the tactics they're using in their content. And, maybe there's some things you can learn there. Hey, I finally started a gaming channel at 28 years old. I do curse when I stream, but it's part of my personality. Will that hinder my channel? My trash talk usually generates laughs. Keep it out of the intro for sure.
It really just depends on how often you curse. YouTube is really cracking down on profanity. I mean, they even just recently changed the rules to crack down even harder on profanity. So it could impact your channel. But I kind of feel like if you don't curse that much, then you're probably going to be fine. But if you curse like a sailor, then you might have some issue for YouTube.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Try things out. You'll know if your video gets any kind of restriction on it. They'll tell you. and just go in the future, just make some changes. Maybe instead of like bleeping it out, maybe you, because like some people say like even bleeping it, like there's some problems there, you could mute the audio. Just literally like you say a swear word and just goes silent for a second.
Yep.
It's tough. A lot of people are having to deal with it right now, but it's all because of advertisers. Like YouTube is still a platform that's catered to advertisers for the benefits of all of us, of all creators. So while it stinks, it's also kind of like a, something we need
it's
so we don't get
reality.
another ad apocalypse,
It's the current reality. We just have to deal with it.
Yeah. And we got another one here. I don't know what to do because I tried everything and I don't know how to help my channel grow. Kind of a, we appreciate the super chat. First of all, thank you so much. Very generous super chat. I think what you can do is it's time to take a step back. If you feel like you've hit this point, I've tried everything, nothing's working. Take a step back, maybe take a little break, and try to look at your channel when you're ready from an outsider's perspective. What kind of audience are you even reaching with this channel? Like, what is it you're trying to achieve? It's just tough. Sometimes YouTube can feel like this, and without knowing what kind of channel you're doing or without a specific question, all I can give you is my warm wishes. So I just hope that when you come to these live streams, and this goes for anybody, you're taking notes. And I say that I'm dead serious. A channel just a minute ago said they've been applying our strategies to their channel and they're growing. I don't remember. We might have seen that channel in the past, but I certainly don't remember auditing a channel with that name. And that's because a lot of people who are watching this right now, we've never reviewed any of their videos, any of their channels, but they're succeeding because they're taking the lessons they learned from other channels we look at and applying them to their own. So they're taking that outsider's perspective. They're looking at their own channels through a different lens and going, maybe I am doing that. Maybe I am making that mistake, and trying to make corrections as they go. And that's all you can do. That's really what this is all about, is continuing to level up in every step of the way.
Yep. One day at a time.
Cool. Well, we did it. Thank you for all your super chats. Thanks for everything. We'll call it here.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being here. We love talking to you all. Again, like Dan said, just because your channel doesn't get chosen to get reviewed doesn't mean that you can't learn from these live streams. A lot of the stuff we end up repeating ourselves because so many of you all are doing the same thing since you're newer and you don't know any better. So we end up saying the same stuff over and over again, but it can apply to newer creators, not so new creators. We're just trying to put stuff out there that you all can resonate with and take actionable feedback. That's the beautiful thing about these live streams, right? The things that we're saying, you can take and apply action to your channel and you can see the growth. I mean, Dan just said, people are literally seeing the growth by taking the things they've learned in these live streams and applying it to their channel. So if you're doing that, then you will grow. But if you have the mindset of, oh, my channel didn't get picked, I'm not going to not take notes, then that's on you. That's your loss. But there are other people that are learning every week from these live streams, and they're growing because they're taking the stuff that we say and they're applying it. And you got to apply it. I mean, you can only listen for so long. Like, I see people in like YouTube rooms, like on the internet, all across the internet, on these live streams, they're listening, but they're not doing anything with the stuff that they learned. You got to do something with it, you all. You have to actually apply these things to your channel, and that's when the magic happens.
Just looking at some different anecdotes here from folks. vidIQ Tips gained over 12,000 views in a month after making videos. Congrats. I've never had a review, but from the things I've learned, I managed to get 7,000 watch hours on my first video.
Damn.
Mr. Moo, dang. So that's what we're talking about. Thank you, Mr. Moo. Appreciate you. And yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. That's why we do these streams. That's why, it's random channels, and we try our best to answer questions and get to as many as we can. But at the end of the day, we know if people are really paying attention, they don't need their channel on screen. They're going to find growth as long as they can take the tips we're giving and apply them. So
one more thing before we leave. I am doing another thumbnail audit. Oh, not thumbnail audit. I'm doing another thumbnail contest tomorrow afternoon on Twitter, 3 p.m. Eastern. Submit your thumbnails, and you guys will vote on the ones that you think are the best. And whoever, depending on if there's a tie, has the best thumbnail will have a chance to get a video audit or a channel or a channel audit or a video review, whatever choice they make next week on the live stream. So be on the lookout for that on Twitter tomorrow afternoon.
There you go. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you on Friday with a new video, Monday with a new video, shorts over the weekend, all the stuff. Tuesday, Wednesday live streams,
more
et cetera,
Dan,
et cetera, et cetera.
More Dan.
Or me, yes. See you, everybody.